I woke to pounding on my door at 6 a.m. My sister stood there, suitcase in hand, hair a mess, grinning like she owned the place. Behind her, my mother's voice cut sharply through the hallway. "She'll live here from now on. And by the way, we're doubling your rent to cover our expenses." I stared at them, stunned into silence. My sister barged past me, dumped her bag in the living room, and flopped onto my couch as if she'd signed a lease. My mother's grin was sharper than a knife. I said only one thing, "Then I'll move out." They laughed, sure I was bluffing, sure I had nowhere else to go. That was their first mistake. I used to believe in family. I really did. As a kid, I carried their burdens. Working part-time while finishing school, paying bills when my father vanished into debt and my mother claimed she couldn't handle it. My sister, lazy and spoiled, was the golden child, shielded and coddled. Her failures were excused. Mine were expected labor. I endured it, thinking loyalty made the pain worthwhile. But loyalty dies the moment it's betrayed. The rent I paid every month wasn't for expenses. I learned the truth months ago from a slip of paperwork left on the kitchen counter. Bank statements showing thousands of dollars in deposits for me, then withdrawals for vacations, spa treatments, and debts that weren't mine. I stayed quiet, watched, listened. Once, my mother whispered to my sister on the phone, "Don't worry, she'll never leave. She's trapped here." Trap. That word ticked in my mind like a clock counting down. I decided then I wouldn't yell. I wouldn't plead. I would dismantle their little game completely. So when they laughed at me, I smiled inside. I had been planning this moment long before they showed up. A second apartment was already secured in my name. Movers were on standby. A storage unit rented, paid 6 months in advance. But leaving quietly wasn't enough. No, I wanted them to choke on their arrogance. That same afternoon, while they celebrated in my kitchen with cheap champagne, I signed the final lease papers. By evening, the movers arrived. I didn't just take my clothes. I took everything I'd bought with my own money. The couch, dining set, bed frames, lamps, fridge, washer, microwave, even the curtains. Every receipt proved it belonged to me. The look on my sister's face as strangers carried out the couch she had claimed as hers was priceless. My mother screamed, calling me selfish, ungrateful. I ignored her. By midnight, the apartment was empty, bare walls, echoing floors. I left the keys in the lock. The next morning, my phone exploded with calls. Voicemails of my mother's voice cracking with rage. "You can't do this. We have nothing to sit on, nothing to cook with. How could you?" My sister's screams erupted in the background. "She stole from us. Call the police." I smiled. I knew something they didn't. Every item I took was legally mine. Every threat they could make would collapse in their hands. And the final blow, I stopped my automatic rent transfers. The account they'd been draining dry was cut off permanently. They'd counted on my money like addicts count on their next fix. Now the faucet was shut. That night, I moved into my new apartment, a place filled with my furniture, my silence, my freedom. I sat on the couch, the very one my sister had sprawled across at dawn, and finally exhaled. For 10 years, I had carried them, fed them, paid for their comforts while they mocked me. Now they were left in the empty apartment, surrounded by nothing but their entitlement. They thought they could trap me. I walked out with the walls stripped bare, leaving them to suffocate in the emptiness they had created. Family isn't just blood. Family is loyalty, and they lost the right to call themselves mine the moment they laughed. I didn't just move out. I took back everything they stole from me. And in the silence that followed, I heard something sweeter than any apology they could have faked. The echo of their own downfall in the hollow rooms I left behind.